And we are live. Manuel, I hope you weren't lying
Don't
to me when you
you?
said you were ready.
Yeah, I was very much lying. I was waiting for you to ask if I was lying because I was lying, guys. My name's Manuel. This is Ultra Podcast Z. This is the podcast. The Z stands for Never Zeddy because we're never ready. That makes no sense. I
Yeah.
fucking love it. Um, Shout out to Robert Axelrod, the voice of Zed, who passed away a couple years ago. I remember I remember seeing him at AX, like, gosh, a long time ago, like 2009 or something. And if you've ever seen Robert Axelrod in person, like even like I don't think anything was wrong with that. I don't think like he was like a sickly old man, but like he was always like hunched over, always a kind of like kind of had like resting sad face, all the time. Like I really think that was just the way he was. But I remember seeing at his table, he just looked kind of like it just looked kind of like, oh, like I felt bad, and then like some kids came up to him, was like, wait, you're Lord Zed? And he's like, yeah, and they're like, can you do the voice? And that fucker still fucking had the Lord Zed voice, like sounded spot on, lit the fuck up, like the kids were like, yeah, that was freaking awesome, and he was all happy, and like I was like, oh, I still got it, no right to be sad, like that dude still had it, and he passed away unfortunately a couple years ago. But anyways, yeah, Robert Axelrod, great person. So, Josh, what's up with you? What's new with you? Say hi, by the way. Sorry, I didn't
Hi
even.
everybody. Yes, I am Josh of Otaku Network, and I am gonna be moving soon. It's gonna be
Wait,
cool.
what?
Yep.
The
I'm
fuck?
gonna move in with my girlfriend,
Oh,
which means
Oh,
that
that's
this
congratulations.
whole
crazy.
room is gonna be like not the same by the end of the month.
That's interesting. That's cool. Like, congrats. Like that. That sounds like fun. Also,
Mhm.
like um, like I love my space, and every so often I think about like, man, imagine if I had a living girlfriend. Imagine all the stuff I'd have to clean up. Like, for example, I'm not gonna show everyone 'cause it's kind of disgusting, but I have like all these like forks that like from what I ate the other day, and I'm like, I should really put those to the sink. And it's like that feels like my version of the cups. Every you see the memes about people who don't clean up cups. I don't have a cup situation. I apparently have a fork situation. I'm disgusting. That's all I had to say. Like I had to clean my room, and like today I was like, damn, because I did clean up a little this morning before I left today, and I was like,
Mhm.
ah, the floor is filthy. I need to vacuum when I get home, and I still have it, and so the floor is kind of disgusting. Like if I laid on the floor, um, there's this thing when like 'cause if you never hung out with me at a con, you don't know this, but I like being on the floor, and I'm sure Josh, you've seen it, and
Mm.
like every so often the floor at a con gets dirty. So when I lay on the floor, like there'll be a couple times I'll get up off the floor, especially when I'm drinking. I'll get up off the floor like by like day 3, and I'll be covered in like whatever crumbs we've been eating. I'll have like a receipt on my back from something we bought. Like I'll be just disgusting, and I'll have to like dust myself off when I stand up. And Yuji
That's
calls that
yourself.
like, yeah, Yuji's like, oh, you're the everything bagel.
So we went with the everything everywhere all at once. I just want to sit there
Yes.
and dust yourself off like you were a 9/11 victim or something.
Oh my god, we were getting 9/11 reference in there too. But yes, I fucking like TLDR. The floor is like everything bagel ready. I had to just lay down, and I just lay down. I just lay down, and I come back up. I'm just covered in all the crumbs and dust and everything. But yeah, it's been a wild day. LA Comic Con just happened. Why didn't you go to that, Josh?
Oh, we had a busy day. We were like taking some pictures of my girlfriend's niece because like her sister wanted to get like some family pictures at a pumpkin patch. It was insanely hot. We were like at 101 or just 100,
Whoa.
I think, on
Oh, it
Saturday.
was
It was
hot.
like
Yeah, it was hot.
yeah, it was not fun, and we were just like so tired. And then like at some point in time, we were like seeing like your posts, and we were like, should we go down just to party? Because we had no intention of going down to LA Live for the LA Comic Con. I saw plenty of stuff on the feed, and I was tempted, but we decided it would be best so we just slept in, like drank at home while watching like the latest My Hero Academia and stuff like that. And we had a pretty good time. Had a pretty good time.
You should have showed up. It's funny because like Friday. Okay, I'll give the fast version, but there's some funniness, some silliness that happened on Friday that just fucked us over. So
Mhm.
Friday we show up, and we all show up in like pieces because um, we didn't have a day zero there, so we were showing up when the con's still happening. So we show up, and some of us leave to go get the badges and come back because like it was a weird pickup situation. And
Mhm.
of course, we get jumped really early, and we are like shit faced. As a matter of fact, we're doing like a Yoshi tournament. Like I don't know if you're familiar with the game Yoshi, the game where you turn the things to match the characters, and the idea is you want to clear all the characters. But there's a versus mode. You can play it for free on the Switch if you have the Switch Online thingy
Are
for
you talking about just like
NES.
a match game? Is that
Yeah,
what we're
it's a match
talking?
game. It's a match game, except if you're curious what the Yoshi element is, technically you could also match two halves of a Yoshi egg, and if you do that, you fuck over the other player by sending them a bunch of like nonsense characters or whatever. So
Sounds
we
like
were
a
doing.
good time.
It was fun, and we did like a tournament of that with like whoever loses takes shots, and I
Oh
lost.
shit!
Well, I lost, but I won. I think in the I was fucking shit faced by the end, and we're all shit faced. And guess what? Guess what we realized?
What did you realize?
No one bought any water.
So you
We
had like a
had
mini fire festival moment in your
so
room.
yeah, and you would think that most people would be like, "Oh, let's go order some water. Let's go buy some water. Let's stop drinking right now and get water." We didn't do that. We just kept drinking,
Well,
and
yeah, it's like quite a drive slash walk to get to the Target from LA Live.
exactly. So we just, I'm not joking. Eventually, we realized that the hotel had one free like bottle of water, and we like fought over it basically. And then come later on in the night, we're still fucking fucked up, and like Leslie shows up, and Leslie had like a personal bottle of water, like one like a little like a thing, and she's and we're like, she has water, and we like stole her water bottle, like drained it of all of its water, and we're like, I'm sure that there's probably water. We were on the floor with the pool on the JW
Mhm.
Marriott. I am
Yeah,
positive if we looked around, there had to have been a water fountain somewhere. The gym had to have a water fountain, and we could have figured out a way to get water if we were really resourceful. But we did it. So we didn't drink a drop of water that day. Oh, okay. I
that
should say that
that
because we drank
wasn't
literally
very
2 bottles of water between like four people, like more than that. Getting because 4 people in the room, but there was more people who showed up, just getting wasted.
that wasn't very mindful of you to not have water.
No, and the next morning we woke up like trash. Everyone was sore, like our muscles felt all crampy, and
Yeah.
like I woke up and I had a really bad what do you call a cramp on my calf. Like I could not move
Mhm.
the entire morning. I was like, oh my god. I was like fighting I was like on the floor and I was just like rolling around like it hurts, it hurts, And the rest of that day I had like a massive limp because it hurt so bad. Well, it hurt so bad in the morning.
Thank
And
you,
then like
Manuel, for keeping us
what?
on brand with this con horror story.
Yes. And then like eventually Thomas shows up with some water and we all drink like bottles. We all just like downing water. And I'm not gonna lie, because I do know that like that can make you sick too. And I'm pretty sure I went the other way because I felt like trash after I was done drinking. I drank like maybe like 4 bottles of water, and then I put like some Pedialytes and 2 more. Like I'm not exaggerating. I say I drank almost too much water at that point. And I'm just
Yeah,
like, oh,
you can hurt yourself drinking too much water.
I felt really sick. Like my stomach hurt really bad. And then we decided alcohol would fix that, so we drank some more.
Oh my gosh.
And then when we leave, it's fucking hot. It's fucking hot, and I'm all sweating, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm dehydrated, sweating,
It
like I'm
literally
limping."
We are really lucky
it
Manuel
sounds
survived
like we
this.
probably made a smart decision in just waiting until like our
You should
next
have showed up.
event.
It was fun. It was fun. You should have showed up. And at some point, I saw your message, but I think I saw it during my limp to the fucking con. And like surprisingly, I wasn't being lazy. Like, I went to the con kind of early. Okay, I only went early because I thought it would take me longer to get there. But I went there early and I went to the exhibit hall. So and because I was limping though, I'm really favoring my leg. I wasn't like on my phone, so I was just like
Mhm.
actually looking at stuff, actually going to the con. So I wasn't answering anyone. As a matter of fact, everyone was looking for me because they didn't know that like where I was. Like your panel soon. When like everybody was so surprised that I went early, they went back to the hotel to look for me, and I was already gone. They just thought I wandered off drunk, which
I
is
mean, 90% of the
hilarious.
time, they would have been right.
And then it got even worse because um, eventually I go to the panel room around like a half hour before the panel. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit there, and I went inside the panel before mine and just sat there, and everyone was still looking for me. And by the way, the panel before mine was um Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Like, I guess their industry panel, because like it was the actual people who made the movie who were going on about making like some future sequels.
Mhm.
Okay, I used to love Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I fucking thought the movies were great. Everyone talks about part 2 having George Clooney. There was a cartoon I even liked, but those fuckers. First of all, I don't know if I should blame them or the room staff. Like, there's no time between the panels. It's technically 10 minutes, but it's the last 10 minutes of the hour. So 10 minutes for the panel, they should be already like done and getting up. And they're all like, well, let's do the giveaway we talked about first. And I'm like, the fuck are they doing? Get the fuck off the stage. I have to set up.
Mm.
They did a giveaway and then they stand up and they have all this shit on the table. Like, they have all this fucking Attack of the Killer Tomatoes bullshit on the table. Like, they are like, even if they got up and left, they still had minutes to leave because there's shit everywhere. Then they stand up and all these fucking Attack of the Killer Tomato fans like, I need a picture, I need a picture. And they just stood there for so long. And I was like, what the fuck? And the
You're
room
turning
staff
into
wasn't,
actual runtime.
yeah, and the room staff wasn't stopping them. So I started just doing like and they got really annoying because I could tell they thought that I was waiting for a picture too. And I'm like, no, get the fuck off the stage. And it got to the point, I just started unplugging their stuff and plugging in mine. And I was like, I don't even know what to do here. It's like, I just like, they're not listening to me. I was trying to get their attention, but they were all just like divaing it up because everyone wanted their picture.
Mhm.
And then finally they realized that, oh, we have to leave. And I'm like, yeah, you have to fucking leave. Like, your panel was over. Like, and then like once of course I have like, I didn't really have many issues with like the tech, but I had enough where like I didn't have like, I barely started on time. And I mean, and by start on time, I mean I technically start late because I like to
Mhm.
show like a little video before. I like to almost cheat and steal like a minute or two of the pre-time to talk a little to give my intro.
Mm.
So TLDR, I don't like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes anymore. It's a terrible movie franchise. I hope whatever future ones they make never get made, and that they don't get any funding for them. Do not support them on whatever Kickstarters they do. They're terrible people.
They
I'm
they
joking.
fucked up.
Gotta
They
admit,
fucked
Manuel,
up.
you are petty sometimes. That might be one of the top 5.
I'm actually really pissed. I'm like, I do remember I have a very similar story of like 10 years ago ish. Well, okay, not that long ago, obviously, because I wasn't doing that many panels that long ago, but like 7 years ago ish. I was at a panel in San Jose somewhere. Don't remember the con. It wasn't Fanime, but it was one of those smaller ones that used to exist. And there was actually a Macross panel. Oh no, sorry. There wasn't a Macross panel. There was a Robotech panel before. And
Robotech,
yeah, and it was an official Robotech
Harmony
panel. Like,
Gold.
yep, Harmony Gold was there. Tommy Yoon, that's his name. Tommy Yoon. Tommy Yoon was there. It's like all the Harmony Gold people were there, and they fucking took forever too. And I was getting pretty much the same situation I'm describing to you with the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes people, but they were cool because they were like, "Oh, we're so sorry you took so long. Here, you want this giant Minmay poster?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." And I actually didn't care anymore. If they would have given me an Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, one of those DVDs and books or the figures they had on the table, I've been like, yeah, you're kind of ruining my panel, but
Mm.
I'm also a selfish bitch. So like, I would have been happy with it. But the fact that like they just ruined my panel for nothing, I was or it's almost ruined it. The panel went out fine though, in case anyone's wondering. Like, if anything, it taught me how to do the idol panel in 50 minutes, which is cut everything out.
Cut everything
Um,
out.
yeah, like I had to cut a lot of like the extra stuff, just talk about the idols, which kind of worked. It helped me trim the fat. So
I see what you mean.
from now on, if I get the 90-minute slot again, because I'm not sure how time I'm gonna do this panel again, I'm gonna build off of this version because I trimmed it so crazy that now it's like, okay, and now I have a really good like framework if I make a longer version. So I guess it helped that way. And there was a decent crowd there. There was a One Piece panel after mine, and I think it was also official. So like, and it was a tiny room. So like the second I was done, they just like let in this giant One Piece crowd, like huge amount of people, and like everyone who was trying to talk to me just kind of got like swept away by the sea, and I didn't get to talk to anyone, unfortunately, really. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun for what it was. I'm glad LA Comic Con takes the panels, honestly. It's a different crowd, and I like I like doing them there. I hope to take them again. I hope Attack of the Killer Tomatoes people do not preempt the panel again, though. Also, I want to point out their panel wasn't even that full. I'm not trying to talk shit about them. I'm really not. But I had more people. I'm just saying.
Are you really trying to pull a Trump right now? You're really trying
Yeah,
to
yes,
saying,
he's
yeah.
comparing crowd sizes.
I guess
Yeah.
technically the Obama thing.
I
because
had
it's
more
just kind
people
of-
than they did. They only like they had some hardcore people where everyone wanted a fucking picture. And to be fair though, I think the other people they didn't want a picture with me, but the other people who were like trying to talk to me were trying to talk to me too. It's that the One Piece crowd was so huge, they just like literally pushed everyone out basically. But
I mean,
but
you're
yeah.
One Piece.
Okay, Manuel.
I know.
Can we keep this back on
Anyways,
topic of something scary, horrible con horror stories?
I stumbled back to the con
It's
and
a
we
con
watched.
horror story now.
I stumbled back to the con and I
Can
felt
we-
like shit. We drank some more. Oh, okay. We drank some more. So flash forward way later on to the end of the night. We've already tempted fate. Like we're all like at this point we all realized before we start the next round of drinking, we already had the big one. We had a smaller one before the panel. We're about to start the next one, and we literally have this whole conversation because we're all kind of scared to start drinking again. And we have this conversation. We're like, man, we're getting old. I don't know if we could party like we used to, you know. And we're all having this. Yeah, we're all like, man, we're getting a little old here. It's getting a little hard to party. And of course, we're just like, fuck yeah, let's keep drinking. And then flash forward a bit later, we're taking shots to stupid ass things, right? So like stupid things. And then at one point, we're like, I forgot how it came up. There was a reason we said it. And it's like, take a shot to organ failure. Yeah, organ failure. And we take the shot, and I'm not joking. As soon as we were done taking the shot, Thomas is like, oh, oh, oh. And we think he's joking, so we're laughing. We're like, Thomas is funny, organ failure, yeah. And then he lays down, and he's still grabbing his chest. And we're like, Thomas, are you having a heart attack? And he's all like, no. And he's like breathing really hard. He's like, no, it's just beating really fast. And I'm like, I think we killed Thomas. Don't
God.
ever tempt fate and take a shot to organ failure. That was fucking stupid. Not helping his homie when he was having a possible fit. Oh yeah, we all laughed and even still, even afterwards, he was like he legit was like still breathing or grabbing his chest. Like we probably should have like paid attention. We just left him there. And ever so often I look back at him, he's sitting there, he's like he's like he does not look well. He's getting pale. I'm surprised he didn't die. I mean, it's not like it's a joke now that he's fine, obviously. But at the time, oh man, I'm a terrible friend.
Yes, Manuel, we've been over this multiple times.
And we kept drinking. That was not the end. We did not stop. It wasn't like, okay, Thomas almost died. Let's call it a night. And it was early. Okay, it wasn't that early, but it was like midnight. And we just kept drinking. And yeah. I guess that was the con. We drank and it was fun. And then I limped home. No one died though. That's an accomplishment, right? You should have showed up.
I thought about it, but overall it was okay. We already have like plans to go to both Chibi and ALA, and we plan to party it up there. We just kind of felt like on that day we were just completely like, what's the word? We were like so exhausted, and then the next day we were gonna go do the whole tattoo thing also. I think we approach things the way that we would expect it to approach them. Don't get me wrong, though. It really just depends. I think it was just a little bit easier. If we would have had a place that we know we would have had to stay, that probably would have encouraged us because we would have felt better with like after knocking out at some point. Because then we obviously couldn't go that hard, having to still drive in some shape or form. If not, like we're talking like 2 o'clock or something like that, you know.
People passed out in that room. I'm just saying. But anyway, I mean, it was fine. It was what it is. What it is. It was a fun con though. I'm definitely going back next year. The date to next year at the end of September. So I'm like, I hope that's better. I just don't know how next year looks like in my schedule, but I'm just like, I hope that's better.
Oh, did I not do that for this one?
Hopefully.
I thought I had a counter for that on here. Oh no, I
Did
put
you
that
put
on.
tits?
No, it is.
Oh, that's a tits.
No,
Like,
sorry.
yeah, tits now.
No,
It looks-
no, sorry. I have a counter for when Q says it, not for when you say it.
The teeth with the T's.
Yes, because you both say it a lot.
It's funny because I say it a lot because I used to have one of my like my DM at like Party City used to always fucking say it. So I used to like always mock them when I like by saying it all the time. And now it's just become part of my thing non-ironically. Anyway, I never
And
said it
time-
before Party City.
And time to reset the counter for
I
stream
haven't said
since you
anything
last
at Party
talked about
City.
working at Party City. I was just talking to my family about this because
my
for
God,
some
a
reason we
friend of
mentioned
mine-
Party City.
No, a friend of mine is working at Spirit Halloween. I won't name them because I don't want to dox them. But a friend of mine's working at Spirit Halloween, and hearing their stories is bringing back so many flashbacks. And I'm like, oh my God. I both love and I mean I both miss and totally despise everything about like a party store during Halloween, like like that kind of shit.
Okay, let's talk about the horrors of working retail then, Manuel. You go.
Retail sucks. People are stupid. It's funny because like, and there's some crazy shit that happens. Like every fucking year at Party City, and this goes to like all Party Cities I've ever seen or know of. Like at some point, somebody calls the fucking fire marshal because it becomes insane. It becomes like. In case you're wondering, typically we call them, but I think more than once. Like somebody, like the security at the lot has called them. I mean, the lot, but the shopping center, because we'll be full of people, and by full of people, I mean literally like you cannot move in the store, and there have been some disgusting things that have gone on during the store. Like that, I remember one time somebody changed their kid's diaper while waiting for their costume.
Like
And these are
on the floor, not in like the bathroom.
yeah, like on the sales floor, like on a shelf. Like in full view of everyone, because I remember like I was just walking through the aisle, like trying to get to the back, and I'm like, is somebody changing their child on the fucking shelf right there? And they were just right there, and I'm like, and I was like, ma'am, we asked you to do that in the restroom, please. And she's like, I don't have time to go to the restroom. I'm in line. I don't want to lose my place. And I'm like, it's a fucking costume. See to your child. Like,
Yeah.
and these are not related, or maybe they are, and nobody discovered it until weeks later. Many, and I mean many times. Like it was far more than that one time. Apparently, it happened because we used to find used diapers in the fucking like the stacks of the pumpkin buckets we used to have all the time. All the time. Like there was always trash in those. Like that was one of the things you had to kind of clean out every night. But like if there'd be some nights where like, why are there multiple used diapers here? Is that what everyone does? Like if you're like a mom who has a young child with her, and it's like, oh, I'm waiting for a costume. It's like, but I'm not leaving the line. I need to change my child here, and then dump the diaper into the fucking Halloween thing. Are you okay, Josh? What are you doing?
I think he's
over
just
there?
reacting to this story.
Yeah. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Don't you love it? And then there's been several. There were just other
That's
weird
so
stories.
disgusting.
We found tons of things in the dressing rooms. Like we found countless underwear. We found underwear in those like on the regular, not even nightly, because we clean that out like every so often. Like in theory, you're supposed to clean it out after every customer because we have somebody whose job, especially when it's busy, to only do the dressing rooms. But every so often, like we don't get a chance to. We'll just make sure something's not too crazy, and they're like, okay, you go in next. And then when they clean it out, they'll be like, "Oh wait, why are there so many pairs of underwear in the fucking dressing room? What the hell?" And then one time, I remember I was covering the dressing room, and somebody was like, I forgot what happened. Like somebody was changing halfway into the costume, and they got a phone call, and like they run outside to like I assume like their husband or boyfriend or whatever. It's like, oh my god, answer your phone. So and so says they're calling you. And this story sounds normal enough, but she wasn't wearing anything on her bottom half. She just walked out. Yes, she walked out. Had taken, and why she was in no underwear to put on the costume, I'm not even gonna question. But she had taken off all of her pants and her underwear, was still wearing her shirt still, and was like came out to yell at her husband, and went right back in the dressing room. We're like, was she naked? Like naked? Like whatever, just let her be. Like, just get him out of here. But yeah,
Yes.
it was always insane.
Spirit Halloween. Was it Party
Um,
City?
it was Party City, and people and like customers would bribe the Halloween temps. I mean, they could have bribed me. I would have taken it. I'm not saying, but it just never was hardly ever. I don't think I was ever on the front line as much. But people bribe the Halloween temps all the time to cut the line. It's like if I give you $20, you can go see if you have like our costumes are numbered. Like you order almost like a fast food menu. Like can you go see if you have 815 large right now? I'll give you $20. And of course, these like minimum wage employees like fuck yeah, I will. You just take the money and go check like right then. And that happened a lot. And then typically it would start a chain reaction that we'd have to stop because obviously when the one person does it, it's like, okay. And then also the customers get greedy. A lot of times they'll be like, why would I give you $20? You can check for 5 more costumes, like, oh, fuck you. And then eventually when one of us notices, like, okay, stop doing that. She was trying on her Winnie the Pooh costume. Oh my God. I don't know about that. But yeah, they're just all the...
Because he doesn't wear shorts. He just wears the one shirt.
I hate it. I hate it. I loved it too because it was also fun. Also, that was the only time it was ever fun to work at Party City because every other time of the year was just like just normal retail bullshit. Stupid customers, stupid nonsense, a ton of Karens, and I don't want to vilify a certain type of customer, but let's just say, in my opinion, you pretty much almost exclusively get Karens outside the Halloween season at a place like Party City because you pretty much always get the middle-aged moms, which are like it's Russian roulette if you're gonna get a Karen. You got a 1 in 4 chance basically, and if you get 100 of them a day, like you're gonna get several Karens. And but then again, like I don't know, like the way I dealt with Karens is probably a lot different than others. I never saw the purpose of fighting with a Karen. And I know people are like, don't give in to them, but I'm like, they do not pay me enough for this shit. You know what I mean? Like a Karen's going off, it's just like, as long as something insane, if they're obviously asking something stupid, or if they're being really jerky, then I'm like, okay, fuck them. But if they're just like they're just like, they want this, I'm like, just give it to them. Like, I don't even fucking care. Like, just give it to them. Or I'll just give it to them myself. And especially because like if they start complaining, and I don't want to hear that shit like trickle back down to me like up from the corporate level. It's like I really couldn't care less. It's like just give them whatever the fuck they want. They want 10% off, give them 10% off. They want 50% off and it's a broken thing. I don't fucking care. Give it to them. Just get them the fuck out of here. Tell them no returns to them. But yeah. Yeah, Party City was terrible. Like I remember like every night during Halloween, everything would be all over the floor. Like we would have to like put the entire store back together, and I mean that literally. Like everything would be taken off of every peg, everything would be taken off of every shelf in the Halloween aisle. Like, it would just be all on the floor, and like it'd be like, what did they do? It's like as if, and honestly, I'm sure to some degree there were some kids who just revel in shit like that. Like the kids who like their parents aren't watching. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just destroy this entire section because no one's watching me. But it's fucking obnoxious. I don't miss things like that.
Was that specifically for like October, or did that just happen year round?
No, that was just October. I mean, we had other busy times, but nothing ever compared to October. Like, we were busy during Christmas, of course. We were busy on Valentine's Day, any holiday, but October was just insane. And it was funny because, like, we would tell customers too. It's like, if you're able to come during the day somewhere, just come during the day. Honestly, it's better because obviously, like, the parents like, but I want my kid to try on the costume. It's like, first of all, I don't want your kid in the store. But second of all, trust me, it's better for you if you don't bring the kid in the store because, like, I don't think you know how many times we fucking have kids scared of shit in the store and they've been making fucking. Anyway, I'll get to that in a second. But
They actually get like scary. I don't think I've ever had this situation where I'm like, there's scary shit inside of a party city, but I definitely
Okay,
know that they'll like have all that stuff in a spirit for sure.
we'd have like, well, no, we had the same shit basically at Party City. As a matter of fact, before Spirit Halloween became this huge like fucking meme entity, uh, we used to get Spirit Halloween like props and shit like that, like Spirit Halloween branded props, like ordered to our store or whatever.
Mhm,
Like back in the day, like when I first started there. And so we had all the same big giant, electronic bullshits. We had the big hanging things that were like bigger than a person, you know what I mean? Like just a big head. Like the head was probably almost the size of my torso. Then it'd have a ton of fucking like, robes. You know what I say, like the big hand things. And we used to
mhm,
have those like hanging from because there were always contests between like the districts. Like whoever has the best store gets a pizza party. Of course, fucking pizza party. And but still, I mean, decorating is better than most of the shit you do at a fucking like, at a fucking retail store. So we'd always decorate like crazy. So we put like we usually have like a big demonic thing just coming down from the ceiling right when you walk in.
mhm,
And there were tons of times kids would come in and get scared. And usually the parents would be like, haha, like shut up, kid, let's keep going. Like you'll get over it. And that's a good
mhm,
parent. It's like it's like, yeah, shut up, kid. But then every so often you get like a parent who would like make such a huge fucking fuss. They'd be all like, no, I didn't come in here for that. That's demonic. That's evil. Why are you guys showing this to kids? Like we bring children here. We don't want this here. And like it'd be like, oh my God. Like, what's your corporate number? And I'm like, they literally want us to put it there for starters. Here's their number. Just go. Either come get your costume or go. And then
that's
like,
weird.
yeah, I remember one year we built a guillotine. Like we put like we used to have mannequins and we put like a Grim Reaper outfit on the mannequin and we built a guillotine, like as in like literally built it out of plywood. We didn't sell this. And
Mhm,
and then we put like the fake head. We did sell like the fake head, like a fake torso, shit like that. And we put those in the guillotine and shit like that. It's like, oh shit. Like that looks cool. But then parents
mhm.
would fucking complain about that too. And it's just
About a
like,
guillotine?
yeah, and I'm like, put you under their neck. Shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding. I'm just violent. Also, those are the fun years. Like, I mentioned this before. Like, every time I've ever mentioned meeting a celebrity at work, it was
Mhm,
during Halloween because that was pretty much the only time, like, you were guaranteed to get like everyone who ever came to a party store would most
mhm.
likely be during that season. Like when I met Renee O'Connor, who was Gabrielle from Xena, and I guess she was on Hercules too. But like it was there when we met. Actually, it was funny because he wasn't there for Halloween. He was there for his son's like birthday party. But when we met Chester Bennington, it was also during the Halloween season. I remember because there was a ton of
Who?
employees there, and this just yeah from Lincoln Park. Um, I have his autograph somewhere, which actually was made out to my then girlfriend, but I accidentally kept it. I'm not giving it to her now for obvious reasons. Oh, and when I say made out to my then girlfriend, it doesn't have her name on it, so it's just an autograph from him. So I'm like, I'm selling that one day. But but yeah, I got a picture with him somewhere. It might be Lost Media, but I think an old Party City friend of mine might still have it floating around because he would send it to me every so often. But yeah, there was other celebrities. I can't remember them off the top of my head that we'd meet during those times. They show up with their kids, and I am not above, a celebrity trying to just go about their daily life. Like, excuse me, celebrity, could I have your autograph?
And this was what like party city was this at exactly?
It was the one in Torrance. It was the one in Torrance. I don't want to dox
Interesting.
anyone, but apparently, like, I guess a lot of people live in the South Bay. Apparently, Chester Bennington, I think, lived in either RPV, like Palos Verdes, or in Torrance. Because I remember I was I was telling all my friends about it when it happened, and then one of my friends who worked at Best Buy is like, "Oh yeah, he fucking came in here for like weeks straight trying to get a new laptop or something." I'm like, "What the fuck? Does he live here?" Well,
Uh,
obviously, if he's buying
I mean, according to
what?
Wikipedia, he did die in Palos Verdes Estates. So
Yeah. So apparently he was in the area, and if I'm not mistaken, I think our party city was well, definitely. I just don't remember if there was if there's any since then. But I think our party city was the biggest one in the whole area, and it was nice.
Hmm.
It was the one in Torrance on Hawthorne. It's not my store anymore, so you can come try to dox me there if you want. But and yeah. So anyways, yeah, it was fun. There was a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff happened the store was always busy, and it also was one of the few times the store felt like a store, because every other time of the year, it was typical retail bullshit where like corporate be like, you need to cut hours, you need to stop having like all this hours spent on payroll. But during Halloween, it'd be like, oh well, you need 20 more people. It wouldn't even be that. They'd be like, guys, you need to hire 30 people by the end of the week. I'm like, the fuck you want? And I'm like, you know how long it takes to hire someone? And it basically becomes a full-time job hiring people for like a while. And then yeah. But I will say this: if you work for like, okay, I'm sure there's some shitty party cities, but we were good keeping track of payroll stuff, especially for the temporary employees. Apparently, Spirit Halloween is terrible with that. Not just my friend who I know recently, but I've had other friends in the past who worked for one. I think I won't mention it, but there was certain other UPZ host in the past who like was a manager at a Spirit Halloween years ago, because they did mention it on the episodes they were on, but I don't know if they want me to bring it up again. But and like every single Spirit Halloween employee I know has had some sort of payroll issue, and I'm like, you are never gonna see that money. Like, just start stealing things from the store now, because you're never gonna see that money. It's like by the time they get that result, like whenever we had a payroll issue at Party City, like I'm pretty sure this has to be across the board, because everyone kind of does like the same couple payroll companies. If we fucked up on someone's paycheck, it was a process. Like, you had to email someone, you had to send it out, the DM had to approve it, and then a special check was created just for them or some shit, you know? And I'm like, you really think a fly-by-night and I know that they're allied with Spencer's now, where the fuck, but you still think a fly-by-night company's gonna pay you that? Like, if you're gonna fucking be gone in 2 or 3 weeks? No, they're gonna wait it out. They're gonna wait it out till you're gone forever. Anyway, you have any other you have any retail horror experience, Josh?
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to process from half the stuff that you had said just now, because I'm just like, I've never, like, hands down, I've never been in a situation working retail where that happened. Because most of my retail experience just comes down to maybe working at a body shop, just as a receptionist. I was like a cashier for like a supermarket for a time, and the what's it called, supermarket for a time, and then I think pizza delivery I had probably the longest in terms of like the most regular in terms of basis that like I would communicate with customers, just asking for like, hey, I need this and that. And it's just kind of hard to like go back and actually find like exact horror stories for them. The only thing that Halloween related I could say is that we weren't able to take Halloween off, because there would be a special pizza where all we do is just take black olives and make the shape of a jack-o'-lantern with that. And thankfully, the nights driving were never that bad. And by the time that we got off of work, at least if like let's say it was a weekend, then thank God it's not going to be that bad. So no stories of me running over kids. Like, it's like
Oh,
multi-comboing points off of Crazy Taxi or
oh
something
my
like that.
god. He's
Well,
over here
granted, the kids will
gremlining the
be jumping
kids.
out of the way like crazy. You don't hit people in Crazy Taxi. They like
You're the one. You're the one who hit. You're the one who almost hit my friend with the Battletoads game. Watch, that was you. It's gonna turn out you like you went through a time warp for a minute, and you're the one who almost hit it.
Sorry, it took me a second to
time warp
remember.
again. Anyway,
It took
yeah,
me.
no, not exactly the
You know,
worst
that was
kind
the
of like.
callback, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think everything that I had was like noteworthy at a time, and then later it just all got blurred into like the mesh of what was just probably like where's my pizza? Why is my car not ready? Do you guys have XYZ thing available? You know? Yeah. So there was one thing that was notable that like shook me, because it like happened for like the supermarket I worked at. It was at a ranch market, mind you, not the Asian ranch market, just a ranch market that was based off of Arizona, and then had some locations like in some of the states nearby. But the news came out while I was getting some of the like little like coupon books out and stuff like that, that we were going out of business, or not that
What
we were
the
going out of
hell?
business, but just simply that like we were getting laid off because we were like bought out by Vallarta. So like I was like, holy
Mm.
damn. And like it was one of the like first jobs that I had, so I was genuinely like, what the crap? And then later I got hired at the pizza place, but like just hands down, it was just very much like, holy freaking cow. They just had a really bad year. Especially because since they were based in Arizona, they got hit really hard with the Arizona law at the time. The whole immigration stuff was like going down. But yeah, no, nothing to the extent of like people leaving their underwear and like diapers everywhere. And I'm just kind of like, why would you be doing that in a retail store? Why are you taking off your underwear when you're wearing
Yeah,
stuff?
I
Like, oh
didn't.
my god! Like, could you
Yeah,
imagine
I,
if they were
I
like,
glanced over that. I glanced over that like crazy, but like that still shocks me to this day. I remember
there was
like
like people with like herpes flaring up and stuff at
no,
specific
and
times, and they
we'd
like,
always like we I remember there was one year it happened so much. We used to have this because we used to sell these fucking canes. They were I think they were meant to be like put to like a magician's costume 'cause they were like just they were like really hard wood. They were actually really good
mhm,
quality if you wanted to beat someone with it. But like it was like this hardwood black cane that was like white tipped on either end. And
mhm.
we had boxes of these when I started working there. We had boxes of them when I left. We've never got. I swear I never saw us sell a single one. But the reason I bring this up is we had one of those canes that we used to leave by like we used to have this little like this whether we used to have a water fountain. We eventually got rid of it. But where the water
Mhm.
fountain was, there was like this little like metal thing that the fitting room attendant would like sit next to or like lean into because it was out of the way. And we used to have a
Yeah.
stick that we would leave right there so that whenever we'd find underwear, we would have the stick to like pick it up and like up
Wow.
got it because we would always be scared of picking up the underwear even when it was
Yeah,
like
it's
it,
gross.
yeah like oh and I want to also describe it was like underwear of all types and I'm like, how does some people just strip naked in there? Who leaves
Yeah.
without their? Or do they take them? Okay, first of all, who takes off their underwear to try on anything? Unless it's also underwear, I guess. Who the fuck
I
takes off
guess.
their underwear? But who the
Who
fuck gets in
lets
the
you
fitting
try
room?
on underwear? Also,
Exactly.
I'm
What?
sorry. I'm just trying to like do the logic shit in my head, you know?
Apparently, I don't know for like. Apparently, you could try like women could try on underwear because they had like the weird little like panty liner thingies that you throw away once you try them on enough. But like,
Hmm.
don't ask why I know that. But anyways,
Why
but
do you know
people
that,
who like
Manuel?
try on shut up. Anyway, well, honestly, I just know that because a lot of just shopping with like, tons of girls. But anyway, um, the people who like take off their underwear, who the fuck takes it off for starters? Who takes it off? But who gets back in their clothes and like, you know what? I'm glad that underwear came off. I'm going commando the rest of the day. And who makes all these decisions? And it's like, you know what though? I'm fucking tired of washing underwear. I'm just leaving and just walk away. I don't fucking get it. And yeah, like the fact that it happened multiple times. And like I said, there was one year where it was almost an epidemic. It felt like how like we didn't keep them obviously. We would just throw them away. But like I remember we kept saying because there was a point like halfway through October where like we should have kept them because we would have had like a box full of underwear. Like the nastiest box you would like probably, who knows what the fuck would have been in that underwear. But like just a box full of all the underwear we found. And there would be boxers, there'd be kids' underwear, there'd be tons of women's underwear. It was usually women's underwear for some reason. And I'm like, I don't get it. Do women take off their underwear and then forget to put them on? Because that was the only way, like I think we found like a couple pairs of boxers my entire years there. And I think we found maybe 4 or 5 kids' underwears my entire time there. But we found like well over 30, maybe 50 pairs of women's underwear. Do women just take them off and it's all like, I feel better without them? And then just go on their day and just leave them there? Like, this is a present for the employee, like as if we want that shit. Like our poor underpaid employee. And it's usually a girl who works those spots usually, just because like I don't like because you after so many okay. Now, even though I told you that story about the Winnie the Pooh lady who walked out, there were these weren't the best fitting rooms. Let's put it like that. And there'd be every so often, like when I would cover someone's shift, I'd be all like, these like if I notice it, I tell them like before they even as soon as they went in. But the amount of people who would go into the fitting room, and there were curtains, by the way. This isn't a door like of the room that closes. The amount of people who would go in, close the curtain halfway, and just start fucking getting undressed in there is insane.
Okay.
And I'm like,
I didn't expect you to say undressed at the end of that sentence.
oh. No. As far as I know, and I mean okay, there was one time where we definitely caught a couple in the bathroom, but because we kept knocking, and then eventually a couple came out like all, looking all the glow, if you know what I mean. But that was during Halloween too. But as far as I know, nobody had sex in the fitting room. But a lot of times people just wouldn't close it, and they would just start getting undressed, and it's like, excuse me, it's like I could see you naked in there, and then typically at that point it'd be like, just look away. So our solution to that was put a girl there, because it's usually the women who do it for whatever reason. And I don't think they're doing it for any particular reason. Like, they want to show off. I just think people are just forgetful, and hopefully they know. And also, it's just funnier to make the girls pick up underwear with a stick. That was a joke. Don't cancel me for that, JD. I'm joke. But no, we would. It actually was really hard for us to find like I think our guy to girl ratio at some of these party stores was usually very like insane to find like male employees who just like wouldn't just leave. They come in, they're like, is this insane? There's fucking diapers everywhere. I'm just not coming back after my lunch break.
Just wouldn't leave, or what?
There were a lot of employees who just go on their break and just never come back.
Oh.
And I don't think there's been a lot of guy employees that would happen with. And also, I mean, I don't know, is this sexist? We would put a lot of the guys to go like, we used to have insane stocking where like we'd have so many costumes down on the floor level, but then all the extras were like on boxes really high up, and we'd make the guys do that. I know that's sexist because typically I wouldn't want to do that, so I didn't do it. I just would make another guy do it. It's like, go get us this costume, but somewhere, and we had this whole system for it. But it's like you have to get the tallest ladder and then stand on top of the ladder in the most unsafe, OSHA violating way, and then get the costume.
2 feet, Manuel.
Huh?
2 feet.
We would make them get on the top step, like the actual top step that you were not supposed to go anywhere near. Like, we'd make them stand on the top step, so they're balancing on this ladder, and then have to reach above their heads to a box. Then hold the box up there, get something from it, and then put the box back, and then climb down.
I think you just needed a taller ladder at that point, Manuel.
Should have probably been a more efficient way of doing
Exactly.
that.
It's funny because like bro, and they're so expensive. Like, well, the underwear, that's just nasty, girls. I don't understand. Girls are crazy. But yeah, we make guys do that shit all the time. It's like, I don't know. Like, I remember like I would go to like they used to be a Kmart in our plaza. Like, obviously, it closed down long before I stopped working there. But there was a Kmart when I first started working there, and they used to have those like, I don't know what you even call them, like the gondola thingies, like the things you would drive in, and then they lift you up to get the stock on top.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name for it.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called. They're not forklifts. You ride in it and then they just lift you up. Anyway, their highest shelf was nowhere near our highest shelf. Like, we had stuff way above where their highest level was, and they were using a fucking like automatic thingy. And I'm like, can't we get an automatic thingy? And you might be like, well, it's too big for your store that small. We had so many ladders because we needed, like, sometimes we'd have to, like, we'd have a ladder for each aisle. So like, we'd have like a stack of like 6 ladders that I think we'd block our fucking fire exit. No joke. We're like hazards. But we block our fire exit and they go all the way up either. It's like, I'm pretty sure that machine could fit where the fire exit is, and we're still like, we're still good. Cherry picker, yeah, that's what you call it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you called it that for the retail ones. I know you for like the big ones that they use for actually, like.
I wanted one of those. I'm like, what the fuck? And then we would go to some of the franchise stores, because, oh, by the way, Party City does have corporate and franchise stores.
Mm-hmm.
And the franchise stores would almost always have one. And I'm like, this is so much more efficient than setting the dude on the fucking death trap to be like, go up there and get me that costume. While the girls are digging the underwear out the fitting room. It's fine. I'll go get the diapers out the fucking Halloween thing. I don't know. Like, it is what it is. I remember there'd be some times when, like, I remember there was one night where I was just so fucking done with the day. Like everything was like customers were yelling at me. It was another fucking day where like there was just naked people in the fucking fitting rooms. Like another thing, this isn't really a horror story, but like parents would always be like, "Oh, I need to use the bathroom," and we'd let them use the bathroom because we had a bathroom that was locked, but of course we let them use it because it was a customer bathroom. But then they fucking take their kids in there and then change the costumes there to cut the fitting room line, which was also disgusting, but also just held up the bathroom. And then obviously once
Yeah.
the first parent did it, then everyone started doing it. It's like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
And I remember just so fed up. I just went to the front of the store. I got one of the big bags of candy. I just ripped it open and started eating out of it. I was like, I don't care. I'm like, and I remember so when somebody employed, like, 'cause I just pulled it behind the counter. I just pulled it because we had one register. It was like for return, so it wasn't always like full. I just went back to start eating it. The person at the registers are like, did you just open that? Like, no, it caught on a peg. I kept eating. Like, you want some? It's like, just start eating it. I was so fucking done with it. Like, there'd be many days like that. I was just like, and we'd work such insane hours. Like, they would make us work like we'd have overtime built into the schedule, and it was the only time in my life that I've ever seen the extra overtime ever come into effect. For those who don't know, this is a California law thing. I don't know if other places are like this. If you work over 8 hours a day or over 40 a week, it's overtime, which is 1.5 pay. But if you work over 12 hours a day, over 12 hours, over 12 hours or over 60 a week, it becomes, I don't know what the exact word for it is, but it basically becomes double pay. And there is a limit. I don't think you can work more than 80 hours a week or 16 hours a day. I forget the exact amount. There is a limit that the law stops you from working, but we would have times where we'd have to figure that shit out, where we'd have to like, and mind you, the computer was good enough, the payroll system was good enough that it would catch most of it, but it'd be a chore, and there'd be times I'm like, have I really been here? Like, I opened the store at 5 a.m. and I'm still here. It's like fucking 7 o'clock, p.m. at night. Like, I'm still here. Like, oh my God. And sure, there'd be times when you're being lazy, but there'd be other times when it'd be like, I don't want to deal with these fucking customers just yelling nonstop. Because like if you were a manager position or any kind of position that was even of like managerial status, as in like you were an employee who was not a temp, one of your jobs was to be on a step stool, so you could see above everyone's head and just like literally like yell like commands like you're a fucking football coach and be all like, well, you do it on a fucking walkie-talkie. But he'd be like, so and so, like go, like there's a kid vomiting in aisle one, like so and so, like like we need more help over here, like so and so, go on your fucking break, all that shit, like all from this fucking step stool, and I'd be like, oh my God, I don't want to fucking be here, I don't want to do this, I don't want to live anymore. I don't know. I actually liked being a cashier if I could during like some of the busier days. Like I don't know how much you like being a cashier, but like the very simple act of just turning off your brain and just like scanning shit, like being cordial to people, like I fucking loved it at times. It was just so simple. And like we used to have these like pads that would like be on the floor that you would stand on, so like you in theory you would hurt your back less. And like those were supposed to get replaced every year. And what I would do is whenever we get new ones, I would just put them on top of the old ones. So like by like the third or fourth year I was there, we were like we had like pads that were like this thick. And you remember like that's weird, but like if you stood on them, it was like you were just standing on a mattress. It was like you were in fucking heaven. It was like all those memes about like give them a chair. They did not matter because if you were just like standing on like all this padding, you'd be like, oh, my back. For once in my life, I don't have back pain.
Please let them have chairs.
Yes, by the way, let everyone have fucking chairs at retail stores. Like, it's just fucking torture, honestly. Like, people talk about this all the time. I'm sure everyone in retail has a story like this, but I've literally had a customer say when there was a employee sitting, like, okay, we used to have like these bag wells, like, as in, like, I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say, but like, you check out here and there'd be like this dip where the bag thing is, a bag well. And employees would sometimes take the bags out of there, like the little bag thingy, and sit there because it was like a person-sized cubbyhole, basically, if you were small enough. And they would sit there a lot of times. And I didn't fucking care. But you know how many times customers would come up to me and be like, your cashier was sitting when I walked in, as if they wanted me to go up there and yell at them. That happened so many times. You would not fucking believe it. It was like, what the hell? Like, what do you have against employees of a job sitting? I mean, like, for
Yeah.
real, what do people have against it? I don't get it. Are they just like, and I have seen people post about these things, and there'll be some people in the comments who are like, I don't get a sit, you don't either. And I'm like, what's up with like, and I know JD might be like, well, you do that sometimes too, Manuel, but like, come on, there's a limit to some things. Like, I don't get it. Just because
Yeah.
my life is miserable, everyone's life has to be miserable.
Yeah, I feel like that's a mentality for like a lot of people.
Then honestly, most of the time, it's all like, I'm not saying you can't have a chair too. Like, get yourself a chair. You fucking work at Walmart, get yourself, make them give you a chair. Like, I agree. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have one. They should. And the
Yeah,
funny
it's like if
thing,
you're out on your feet that much, might as well get like a chair. Don't get upset that somebody else has it, I guess, better at their job.
there's no, I don't know. Like, it never ceased to amaze me. They got it. It didn't happen much during Halloween because like there typically wasn't that much downtime for people to be sitting, but it happened a lot during the regular season. Like your employee was sitting, and I'm like, yeah, oh no. Like, what do you want me to do? Write them up? What would I even put there? They're sitting. And I also love that like their weird, caring, non-confrontational way. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they should, but the fact that they saw it and like ran to the cops, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't like, excuse me, cashier person, can you help me with? They didn't even need help, or even like they just came in like, I'm gonna go tell someone of authority. I hate customers. Customers are not right.
Yeah.
Customers are terrible people. I guess it includes me whenever I'm at a store. We're all terrible people. I'm sure I've been a bad customer many a time. It is what it is. There's the counter, JD. Where's your retail horror stories, JD? You need to get a job at a retail.
So say I've never worked retail. I can tell you horror stories about my job.
What? Just program the ones and the zeros not adding up.
No, Manuel.
Clearly, I don't know what retail is.
Yeah, my boss.
I mean,
my old boss constantly changing what we were working on. We talked about how over the course of maybe 2 months we had 5 basically different games that we had made, because each week we would go into the meeting with him and he'd say, nope, make it like this new thing that's hot now, or this.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah. Or him just having no idea what he wanted sometimes. Like, his only advice to the art teams was to make it stylized, never denoting what kind of style he actually wanted most of the time. So it's like, do you want like this cool cell shaded stuff? Do you want it to look like, say, Halo or something else? It's like, pick a style and tell us what kind of stylized you want.
Imagine saying they wanted a game like Halo in 2023 or 2, whatever year that was you're working there. But I get what you mean.
Hey,
I don't know,
Manuel,
man.
I had a friend who worked on Halo Infinite. I will not accept like a complete insult to it.
I thought Halo Infinite sucked.
Manuel, you know how I was telling you you're just like a person who loves to rag on anything when someone says, I like this thing? This is what I mean.
You know what else sucks? You know what else sucked that came out this weekend?
Sure, Manuel, I've got nothing else. Go ahead.
The Joker. Folly do.
Close enough.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Have you seen it, Josh?
I hadn't seen it, but I saw reviews from like.
Do you intend to see it?
I don't think I plan to. It doesn't sound like.
Okay, Manuel,
from
give me a
the two
second to
people that like
point on
I
spoilers.
normally like. What happened?
So I can put the spoilers thing in the topic so that they can see it.
I won't have a big spoiler. Actually, I probably will have a big spoiler. So, okay, you don't plan to see it. We were saying, Josh, sorry.
Yeah, it's there's like 2 people that I normally watch that sometimes I'll check out if they review on movies. They're not really meant for like review. Well, not meant. They don't normally review a lot of movies, so it's going to be like very specific for some things. And they both said, yeah, it was like not that fun of a watch. It really felt redundant. And I was kind of like, okay, well, if it's redundant, then I guess I shouldn't really like go to the theater for it.
Yeah, the thing, my thing about it is, first of all, I don't think it's a horrible movie. For the record, I really don't. I don't know who the fuck it's for. Like Mr. Todd Phillips, I mentioned this before we went live. That I was talking talking about this to JD. That I'm not sure if to steal that phrase from H Bomber Guy, if he had a bit of troll's remorse, or that's not even the right word, but like if like he changed his mind after the way the first movie was received, that like it's basically incel the hero. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like the incel hero story, where it makes a horrible person like a murderer even, and makes them like sympathetic, and the audience likes them. And now he realized like, ah, shit, I hate people like that. I'm gonna make a movie that they're gonna hate, and then he did that. Like, I don't think that's a bad idea, but it's like the way he did it, man. I can't fucking. First of all, what was up with the marketing of this movie? Do you remember when they first announced the sequel? I don't think it was even the pandemic yet. It was still 2019, and they're all like, "Oh, they're working on a sequel. It's gonna be a musical." That was the first thing they ever said about it. Was it was gonna be a musical. Apparently, I only found this out now. There was even talk about it being a Broadway musical, like actually on Broadway, and that didn't happen because of the pandemic. And for years, it's going to be a musical, it's going to be a musical, it's going to be a musical. And then right before the movie came out, Warner Brothers kept saying, it's not a musical, guys. It's not a musical. It's not real. And then even Lady Gaga in some of the interviews, like, it's not really a musical. And I'm like, and then you start seeing all the people who are like, oh, I don't want to see it because it's a musical. And I will admit that, that like, it's weird that you have this incel kid the movie and then you make the sequel a musical, because it's like that's not a Venn diagram that meets. And it's a jukebox musical. It's like there's no original music. At least like I think there might be one song. I couldn't find the credit for one of the songs, but everything is an already existing song. And okay, now it's spoiler alert. And do you care if I spoil it? I don't know if you've heard about what happens at the end, Josh.
No, not really.
They kill the Joker.
They kill Walking Phoenix.
Yes. And then like they kind of make okay. Even though he claims there's no sequel, blah blah blah, there's some mad sequel bait in this movie, because not only do they kill the Joker and they set up a new Joker, like the guy who kills him kind of like starts laughing and like carving up his face. I'm like, oh my god, he's the new Joker. They already set up Harley Quinn and the fucking prosecutor for the fucking case. The whole thing's a courtroom drama, by the way. The fucking prosecutor from the case was Harvey Dent. And at the end of the movie, he becomes Two-Face. And it's all like, oh
Wait, so
my god.
there's a prosecutor or a judge? Like what?
Prosecutor. Dent's always a prosecutor.
Who's playing the prosecutor? Like what actor?
No one I recognize. Like he seems famous enough, but like no one I recognize. But yeah, he's Harvey Dent, and like at the end, they try to break him out of jail, and do some explosion-y bullshit, like just the way it happens. I think like the way it happens in Dark Knight 2. His face gets all burnt, and it's like he's Two-Face now. Yeah, Harvey Dent, and I'm like, if you're not setting up a sequel, why the fuck did you do all that bullshit? And also, like, there's just some scenes in there where I'm like, I won't say the exact scene. You might already know what I'm implying about. There's a certain violent scene where I'm like, who the fuck puts this in a mainstream superhero movie?
What kind of violent scene are we talking about?
Prison violence. In the shower, let's leave it like that. Shower prison violence. You could already put two and two together.
Yes.
There's that kind of scene in the movie.
Would put that in the movie?
In a fucking mainstream, big budget superhero movie. That does not fucking belong there. I'm just like, why is this here? And mind you, it's plot. It's mad plot driving. And it's a musical. It's a fucking. There's music during it. I can't fucking believe it. It's like, what is this movie? And the funny thing is, if I described the plot to you and didn't tell you it was a musical, you'd be all like, wait, where's the music? And I have to tell you, like, oh, it's scattered throughout because like it's the part that breaks up all the other shit that happens. You could cut out all the music shit and just made a really stupid movie. But it's just like, whose choices are these? Like, why is Todd Phillips doing all this? Like, I don't know. It just seemed like he was trying to make a movie that was gonna upset everyone. And I guess it might have succeeded. I don't know. But like, I don't know who this movie's for. Obviously all the the incel, the school shooter types are all like hating this movie. But surely the DC fans are liking it. And if you're a musical fan, it's a fucking jukebox musical. So it's like, why even see it? I don't know. It's it I like how I had a feeling it was gonna be terrible, but I watched it anyway. Yeah, it's wait till it's on streaming and then watch it there. Wait till it's on HBO Max.
If I'm even paying for HBO Max, but
I mean, just fucking wait till it's on. Like, I mean, at the rate it's going, it'll probably because like HBO Max, like I don't know, like if that service is suffering, they tend to put some of the movies for free, like rotate them in and out on Amazon Prime. Just wait till it's one of the free ones. I'm sure it'll be there eventually. Like I remember, I got to see all the the Batman, and I got to see the first Joker on Amazon Prime like a few months ago. So just wait till they cycle those in, and you can watch it there. Do not waste your money on it.
All right, Manuel.
I guess that's our show. Like, what else is scary? What else is scary? Retail story. I'll think of some next time. I told most of it. Like, there's always more stories to tell. I wish I had more specifics. Unfortunately, my Party City experience ended like, gosh, how long has it been since I've been at Party City? I've been gone. I mean, 8 years now, 7 or 8 years. So, a lot of my stories are just like, thank God, ancient memory. I'm just like. But I was there for fucking like 9 years, so I do have a lot once they pop it back into my brain. Anyway, I do want to go to Party City again. I have a bunch of store credit from them from when like I was part of some class action settlement, and I'm like, I still need to spend all the store credit one day. I'll go buy a mask.
I was say, do they sell water? Because it seems you need that.
I know. Buy some water. There was a point where they sold board games. They apparently don't anymore. I asked somebody who still works there, and I was like, I'm just gonna go buy a bunch of board games, but they don't. I wanted to buy Hungry Hippos. They apparently carried it there for a while. Whatever. I'll get some. I'll get something. That's our show. Josh, you anything else you want to add? Closing things.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I just look really forward to moving out for the following month, and then looking forward to Anime Chibi or Anime Expo Chibi, and yeah, probably enjoy some Halloween.
Fun. For those wondering, I'm gonna be at YumeCon, which is in 2 weeks. God damn, it's so soon. And that's right before Halloween. I'll be doing a couple of panels there. I don't remember exactly. I'll try to remember later. And then after that, on Halloween weekend, I'll be in Sin City Anime. I won't be doing a panel there, but I will be there. Hopefully, A to J will be interviewing a bunch of people there. And then it's AXGV. Can you believe I'm doing that many cons before AXGV?
Yes, Manuel.
Dream.
I'm gonna die. Well, I don't intend to party at all at YumeCon, but I've said that before, and it still happens. So we'll see what actually happens. What?
I'm pressing X so hard to doubt that right now.
We'll see how that goes. I am not intending to bring any alcohol there, but then again, you can't just buy alcohol when you get there, so we'll see how that turns out. Anyway, tomorrow, I forgot. Even though I told everyone we're playing Soul Silver on the Golden Sun stream on Sunday, I just remembered. I think we're gonna play Sweet Home.
Okay.
Because it's Halloween. I forgot that it was Halloween. I think I need to talk to Warren again. And Sunday's Golden Sun. This Friday's Drink Talk Roll. Yes. And next Tuesday, I promise we'll have more of a topic. I was actually kind of sick today, so sorry. Sorry, this episode kind of came together a little last minute, but it was still fun. We had a good talk about underwear and diapers and
the real life horror stories. Hi, doggy. I can hear that dog in someone's background. I'm assuming it's Josh.
Oh, I thought it was yours.
Yeah, it's my dog. I apologize about that.
It's okay. No, Manuel, I don't have a dog. I have a cat. We went over this before the show.
Oh, that dog. I mean, that cat can. That cat can dog. That cat can bark. I don't know.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support us, check out patreon.com/A to J Connections. Thank you to our patron Ed for helping us bring this show and keeping our website ad free.
Yeah. Also, just real fast, like I said, there will be more Halloween themed episodes. Like, I'm not sure exactly what will be next week's theme, but it will be something horror related topic. Then hopefully we'll have a tier list in 2 weeks, and then I think in 3 weeks from now we'll be watching House on Haunted Hill. So yeah, and that's our Halloween lineup for the UPZ. So thank you
Nice.
for watching.
Night.